Morning traders, welcome to Beyond Profile. Today is Wednesday, April 20th. 2 days left of the trading. We are up huge this morning on the heels of some good earnings out of Intel. That was a big surprise for the markets last night. Intel, though, gapping to some areas of supply on the daily, so I'm looking for possible gap up and for them to sell into that. These markets across the board here, you can see the euro on my chart right now actually blew through the prior tops. It looks like we're getting a price probe. They actually hit 45.32s and coming back in. We'll see if they can come back to retrace like the 44 area here. A lot of things cooked to the upside. A lot of people caught short, squeezed out last night. There's no volume in the market all the way up last night. I mean, the S&P's up at the 2750 area. And Nasdaq's just shy of the 50s, which that's one of those areas where you just you got to look to short. I mean, think about it. We were at 2250 earlier on the week on Monday. Now we're at 32. What was the high? 3245. I mean, literally 95 points within 2 days. Let's look at the S&P daily here and figure out what we want to do with this. The S&P daily chart here where we're running into this morning. 2750, major volume node right here. You can see we're right into it this morning. Even if we get short 2750s, looking at a pullback to like 20s, maybe to the 19 area, even back to the prior. Because see, what's happened on this is that we've gone from a balanced state and we probed lower. Here's our value area. We probed lower. There was no follow through yesterday. Closing up in here. Now what's happening is we've gone to the other side of this thing, and we're testing the other end of it. So. For retracements to come back off the top of this value area high here, 18s to 19s, that's very doable in this market. So the S&P off of these 27, we actually just missed our short entry. We were trying to get short in the room. It didn't give us our bounce. It's already pulled back a couple bucks. But these would be the areas I would be looking at this to come back. I mean, if you look at it, where are we at in the big scheme of things here? We're still 36s. Think about it. The S&P was down at 1280, well, 1290s you call it, 1290s. Let's look at the Nasdaq. You'll see what I mean about this being down even a lot more, or I should say up a lot higher here, almost 100 points. And Apple's earnings aren't even out yet. They're all after the close tonight. So, which leads me to believe they're probably already a little baked into this too. There's a little too much excitement, if you will. IBM's earnings last night were good. Revenues were light though, and they're down like $1.50 or something this morning. Let me double check that here. And again, you got to watch a lot of these things, a lot of these hype moves, if you will. Really, to snooker folks in. Yeah, IBM's gapping down $2. The traded as high as 170s, trading 163.50 pre-market. So, I'm looking for the gap up and then sell off in this market today. That's why we're looking at these levels. And now we have an acceptance of value on the Nasdaq short-term chart. So it's looking like 23.45. We'll start shorting the Nasdaq this morning. I'm waiting for the S&P to get acceptance up here. We can look to do the same thing with that one. Let's look at the Nasdaq real quick here, the daily, and you can see the move that we've seen in the last few days. Here's the Nasdaq. So you can see where we've gone in the overnight. Again, pushing back up around this 2350s for me would be almost an automatic short if we had gotten to that level this morning. We're somewhat, I must have a trend on this here. Hold on a second. Yeah, we could probably extend this trend line up just a little bit here across the tails. This may be, and again, even for this market, it's the same situation. This should come back and retest 2310s here. This would be the break, and we could have a big topping tail by the end of the day too. Because remember, we probed underneath this balance area, couldn't go lower, engulfed yesterday, and then ran higher right back into supply. 2326. 2326. That's a big number right there for the Nasdaq for the month. So pullbacks from, let's say, 45s, 50 area to 2326. That would be key numbers down in here. That would be something to watch for in the Nasdaq. And again, we're cooked to the upside here pre-market. There's been no volume either. That's what's interesting about this whole thing. But again, like I said, a lot of stops got shaken out. So how much do we retrace? I'm looking for, like I said, the gap open and sell off, and then we'll see how far we retrace. Plus, we've got Apple after the earnings. Apple was trading as high as 345 in the Asian market or European session. Actually, it's come in quite a bit now. It's down to 342. It was up like 657. It's only up $4 now. So even Apple seeing a little bit of pushback this morning after this great run up in the overnight. So keep your powder dry. Wait for your areas up here. But we've got a shift now in acceptance of value on the S&P forming also. So we're going to get some opportunity here this morning. Definitely won't be on the long side. We're going to play the short side. Have a great trading day, everyone. We'll see you in the room.